Alright, Copart strikes again. What we have here is a 2003 F-150 5.4, supposedly. Four-wheel drive. It's actually got a B6 axle code, which means it's a 373 posi, which is nice, because mine's only got the 355s. I haven't confirmed this thing's a 5.4. I suppose I could. Let's take a look. The interior, it's got supposed to be 155,000 miles on it, and I believe it because, I mean, it's not terribly great smelling in here, but it smells like a used car. I mean, we got the garage opener, overhead console, broken plastic, shocker. Missing the console cover there, but that's not too big a deal. Fisherman. Radio, automatic climate control. This was a real nice truck. Well, that's just jammed in there. That can get unstuck. Well, there's the cover. That's probably fixable. But got a little bit of damage on the other side, but right now, adjustable pedals. Yeah, mine was a top of the line truck back in 07, and this thing makes mine look like a stripper. Hot air intake. Never quite understood these on these vehicles. It's a lot better to leave them breathe through that hole. This is interesting. That's a funnel, so something's leaking. Although underneath it looks dry. I don't see any drips out of the oil pan or the trans pan. Yeah, got the seems reasonable. Looks pretty darn similar to mine. EGR. Let's go find our famous radiator hose. Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, in the later model trucks, even with the aluminum intake, they've moved it up to the front. So if that thing springs a leak, you don't have to rip the whole damn intake off, which is nice. It didn't come with a battery. I hooked my jump box up to it and it went into neutral and the gauges lit up, but I wouldn't turn over, so I have no clue whether this thing runs or not. It's been at the auction for 2 months. I've won this thing probably 6 separate times, and the owner refused my bid. A little bit of radiator washer fluid in it, but they finally accepted it on the 7th time. I got this thing out the door for a little over $1,000, and you know, if it's a basket case, if it turns out that it doesn't run or it has serious engine drivetrain problems, I really don't care, because it's got some decent stuff on it. You know, nothing that I would use. I mean, I got a 4-inch lift kit on the front, which looks kind of hokey, but it's functional. You can see this bracket up under here. That's interesting. I don't quite know what that's for. That probably used to go there. Not quite sure why. But yeah, it's triangulated steering. You've got all sorts of hokey crap on this thing to throw the whole front end down, so you lift it so you can put big tires on it but not get any more ground clearance. Like I said, you can see the you don't really see any leaks of any sort, which is nice. Trans cooler. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. Obviously we're missing the bumper, and judging by this, it bashed into something, but those are a dime a dozen in the parts yard if it runs and I want to put it back together to do something with it. The frame rails look pretty straight. I don't think it's ever had a big hit. The Half shafts are pretty good. Somebody has actually at some point replaced, well, these probably had to be longer for the lift kit, so those are not in bad shape. The bushings, shocks don't look too bad. Upper A arms, I don't know whether they're aftermarket or they have an aftermarket boot, but that's not a stock boot. Exhaust looks dirty, but not bad. A little bit of surface rust. Nothing terrible. Come around the other side. Even the grill. I mean, a lot of times all this plasticky crap is all bashed in, broken up. But this one's pretty good. Original headlights all clouded to crap. Yeah, they look like, yeah, Ford. Those are original from 03. What we got in here? Anything interesting? Nothing out of the ordinary. Looks pretty good. Again, we got what appears to be an aftermarket boot on that, so they may be replacements. It may have been done when they did the lift. You can see that spacer there, and then the torsion bar spacers. Not sure what kind it is. I mean, it doesn't look like it was built at home, so somebody bought it, but I don't know much about it. It's interesting how they did it to avoid putting a drop Pitman arm on it. They just put that thing, but whatever. There's a torsion bar bracket to lower that. That's kind of hokey. And these stiffeners here for the rear mount, also hokey. And again, like I said, we got no drips on the transmission or the oil pan. If this thing hasn't been cleaned, I mean, it's pretty darn good. The rear end's not leaking. I mean, the front end's not leaking. I got a tiny bit of oil right there on the exhaust, but nothing terrible. Again, it's pretty darn clean. This is the damage. I got it taped up. Not quite sure why. Wow, that's some sticky crap. That is some sticky crap. They don't want this stuff coming off. Let's see if it leaves my pinstripes on. Yep. My goodness. Of course. Jesus, that stuff is impressive. All right. Doesn't look like anything's too bad over here. All right, that one closes properly. This one, we got the upper seals displaced. Yeah, we'll have to give all of that a look-see if it runs, and if I intend to rebuild it. Yeah. I bet it wouldn't leak, but they just probably have a habit of doing it because that rear door is displaced backwards a little bit. But again, they close. You know, it sideswiped something right here and took it back. But again, cosmetics. Tire's flat. I'm guessing it's because of the accident. All the other ones have air in them. I don't really see any serious damage, and it's still on the beads. I may try to blow it back up. This would cause me a little suspect here. We got some leaks on the rear end. I'm missing a bolt, and the tag's still there. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that shock is unbolted. Yeah, they had to do something with them. It's supposed to go up there. Let's put some funky screw up bracket on it. Which I didn't quite understand. I don't know what that was for. Probably went around that piece there and was pinned in. But if this thing doesn't run, I got a full disc brake system for my truck for the rear. And that's a good thing because those drum brakes are trash. You can see how they lifted it back here. They just put another one of these bump stop things on it. It's classy. Hacked up little exhaust. I'll give them credit, it's welded, but it's still garbage. No spare. Surprise. But it had 295s on it. Stock is 265, so they went a little taller. And with the 373s, it probably didn't hurt. Let's see. Springs, they're kind of flat, but the clamps are still in good shape, so they're probably serviceable compared to my original ones on mine. That these clamps had just disintegrated and fallen apart. But yeah, with 150,000 miles on it, I figured, hell, it's half the mileage that's on my truck. And, you know, worst thing is it's a $1,000 parts truck. So, I'm going to attempt to put some air in that tire, see if that works. If not, I got the spare out of mine, which will fit it. Because it is 5-lug. And we're going to try to get this thing started up, maybe. See if I can get it off the trailer under its own power. Test a few things. So that's what's coming up next. Another thing, first time I opened the bed, you know, it's full bed liner. It's a little short bed because it's a full 4-door. Oh good, there's the spare tire jack crank that goes under the hood. I noticed that was missing. So I don't think she's too bad. It's got a 7-pin just like mine. Good hitch, same tow hitch as mine. It's not rusty at all. It's really good. Missing some plastic here, but you know, the grand scheme of a $1,000 truck, I've had worse. So now we're going to try to get that tire changed. All right, well, we just slapped the battery out of mine in there. Put some air in this disaster, and it's kind of holding, and I don't hear any leaks. Big gouge in it though. And got the key, all one of it. Yeah. Okay. Here goes nothing. I think ye olde motor may be seized. Woo! Yeah, I'm thinking the motor's gone. That's why it's in here. Well, I suppose I could do what anybody might do in that situation. Pull a dipstick. It has oil on it. It really doesn't smell too bad. Of course, that could have been somebody adding it after the fact. Yeah, it's over full. So, my guess is ye olde engine is junk. Because that battery was good. I'm gonna try to get my battery terminal cleaner and clean it up a little bit better. Alright. Now clean the battery posts, tighten them down. Whew. Oop. It started to want to turn. Maybe my battery's a little low. Okay, we got the battery cooking. Yeah. Well, two things are possible. Because everything else works. That's funny. All of that works. That even works. Yeah. Yep, if this thing won't run, she's going to be a good parts truck. Now, what I think I am going to do is I'm going to go get my code reader and just try to pull the codes out of it and see what it tells me. Alright. Of course, the battery's been disconnected, so that probably erased everything. Yeah. Alright, so that's not terribly helpful, because the battery's been disconnected. Man. Everything works though, other than the engine. If we can see under here. Wonder if I can get a hex on that and try to turn it with a wrench. It's got a new belt on it, which is interesting. See if we can turn it with a wrench. Yep. I'm thinking the motor is seized, which is pretty wild, considering there is no outside indication at all of that. But it will not turn over. It won't do anything but click, and I put a wrench on it, on the crank, and I cannot turn it at all. It was actually just loosening up the bolt, and then even if I turned it tight, it would just go tight, and then absolutely nothing was moving. So unless the starter has decided to go wonky, which is certainly a possibility, and jam itself into the flywheel and stick. Unless the starter is jammed up, this thing may be a parts car. But it's getting kind of hot, and I think I'm going to find some place to tuck this thing and start getting this rest of this disaster all back together. So we will see what we're going to do next.